talk about other general effects and processing. In a way, this is going to be mainly about the vocal, but it's also about many things. So I have set up 3 stereo. In fact, this one could be mono. Change track width to mono. I'm happy with that. Stereo reverb, mono slapback delay, and stereo delay. This is a longer delay. I'll talk through what this is. So I have inserted a reverb. I haven't gone through and adjusted my decay time. However, I'm going to do that right now. So I'm going to switch my solo mode from solo in place to after fader listen so that I can listen to just the reverb. And at the moment, I'm going to mute everything but the snare drum top and the reverb. And I don't want this section. So the rule of thumb that I'm trying to get to is that we want the decay of each snare drum to die or to decay. We want the snare drum reverb to decay before the next snare drum hit, or else you're essentially building up additional reverb that will muddy up the mix. So I'm simply listening to the length of the reverb right now. Okay, so like 22 obviously is not good. All right, I am using this as a general wash. It may indeed be appropriate that you have a different reverb for vocals, but I think that I do tend to work this way. Sometimes I'll add an additional reverb, but we'll talk about these delays and how they're kind of functioning that way as well. Let's see, what else did I send to this reverb? I sent just a little bit. Actually, I didn't because it crashed on me. Just a little bit of kick drum. And I did some of this by listening simply to the reverb in solo. Okay, I do want the vocal to be prominent. This is not the best way or the only way. We have to go back and forth, but I do find it useful to kind of be able to check what the mix is in the reverb essentially. One thing I will point out is with the guitars, I think this is kind of a cool, that's not very helpful actually. Let's do that. This guitar is just so loud at the moment. I like to sometimes have a guitar, if I have it panned to the left, I like to have its reverb over to the right. And it kind of creates like a way for these guitars to play off of each other in the reverb. So all right, so that is one thing about being able to pan your sends in order to achieve some stereo clarity, or something interesting at least. What else did I do? A slapback delay. So a slapback delay is a very short delay. This is actually a preset that I dialed in a little bit more. So this is a 50 millisecond delay. And it sounds like this. Oh, interesting. I lost it. Oh, because I changed it. So I'll send this on bus 11. Self-loathing poet, rested in Laurel Canyon, know it all. All right, so what it does, I mean, it's just a very, very quick delay. It's not echoing. It just kind of repeats the vocal back. 50 milliseconds is very short. And keeping it kind of underneath the lead, it helps to create a little bit of depth, if anything. So it's not a prominent signal. We don't want to have it's almost like a fake double, and we don't want that to be, as though we're trying to do that. But it does kind of create this depth that's kind of cool. And finally, I have a delay. I set it to quarter notes. Now, we always talk about, well, this wasn't recorded at a particular tempo, so how are rhythmic delays going to work? So I had to come up with a tempo. I turned off the conductor. I selected a section. I highlighted the BPM. I pressed play, my space bar, and I tapped on the letter T on beat.
I could have you, 'cause you're just a man.
All right, I get 76-ish. Now, we could tempo map, but I don't think anyone wants to get into that.
I could have you, 'cause you're just a man. It's just
really want to keep this low. I don't really want to hear those delays, especially because I have it at this point on the whole vocal. Of course, once you create a send, you have that send available to be automated. Now I could do something like,
oh, goddamn man child.
I could say, like, I want to automate this on child and really,
man child.
But I don't want to do that in this instance. I just want to have some low level kind of wash of
man child. You act like a kid even though you stand 6'2". Self-loathing poet, resident low.
Okay. So that's the general quick version of our vocal processing.